Hey everyone, Aaron here. Welcome back to another episode review for ReZero. First and foremost, guys and girls, I apologize for the last review. I made several mistakes in that review, especially regarding something that I didn't fully understand, which was the rewind time. And I'll clear real fast that even though Subaru did not involve himself with Stella, she still actually saved the little girl, and the old man was talking, or excuse me, the merchant was actually talking to him in that sense. And I misunderstood, and I was like, well, that I thought something completely different. So I apologize. Thankfully, a lot of my commenters who were nice people told me, hey, you messed up here, and I corrected it, not in person in the video, but at least I put in the description I corrected it. And I'm just telling you guys that I messed up with that. But anyways, this episode, if I was to sum up this episode, one word, amazing. Honestly, it was great. It really was. So we had last episode Subaru with Felt and Ram in the bar, and Subaru was trying his best to stop this, fight that was going to happen. He really wanted to avoid having the crazy psychopath killer girl show up and gut him for like the second time and stuff like that. And instead, Stella shows up, and we actually learned that by the end of this episode, Stella's real name is actually Amelia, but I'll explain that in a couple seconds, or a little, like maybe a couple minutes actually. But she comes to, and it looks like there's gonna be a giant fight in between. But once again, the crazy psychopath killer girl. That's why I'm naming her. I know her name is. I forgot. Actually, I forgot what her name is off the top of my head. But we're gonna call her crazy psychopath. Crazy psychopath shows up, and everyone gets involved. Now, of course, Stella, or AKA Amelia, actually is a capable fighter. So she goes with Puck, who is the little spirit that she has as a teammate. They fight the crazy psychopath for quite some time, and it seems like everything's going well, but it seems like also that they're kind of stalemating each other because as much as damage as they're trying to pull off, she's able to avoid a lot of it. So eventually, Puck, who runs out of energy, has to go to sleep by 5 o'clock. Does have to go to sleep. We do learn something kind of an aspect of that there is a special move he could pull off, but it will require some kind of agreement on both their parts. So I really don't know what that will be. Hopefully, it doesn't end up like where Puck has to die in a later episode to save Stella's life or Amelia. I'm gonna keep saying Stella because I keep thinking of Stella, but so eventually here, then Subaru gets involved in the fight after Ram, well, fails horribly. He doesn't get killed though. He actually survives this time. Subaru takes his giant bat, which I'm amazed he can take. It's like a club, really, more than a bat, and fights Crazy Psychopath with the help of Amelia. But of course, they're not able to do very much, and they actually help Felt escape. And luckily, Felt actually runs into our main man Reinhardt from the last episode we were introduced, and Reinhardt, boy, look at that image right there. That just shows how badass he is. He got a Credo 5 to him in a lot of ways. Yeah, next scene I'm going to show you. His ultimate attack was amazing. That was one of the coolest parts of this whole thing. Where after Amelia was actually healing Ram, he was able to pull off this super cool move that apparently uses a lot of mana. Now, after a huge fight, which I'm telling you guys, you need to watch. You really need to watch it. It's amazing. They fight each other. Reinhardt seems to have won. He seems to have obliterated everything. I mean, even his sword, which is not his. It's actually a sword he picked up because apparently his sword is not to be used unless desperately needed to be used. That sword disintegrates. It's amazing. It's fun as hell. But what we do get is that the crazy psychopath was still alive, and she cuts Subaru in the stomach. But you don't see that right away. You see that in a little bit. This is also where we find out, Stella's real name is actually Amelia. And it seems like everything's going good. Everything's fine. But, of course, Subaru was cut in the stomach. He realized that. And his stomach bleeds out, and it looks like he's about to die again. But luckily, he's actually saved at the end of this episode. Now, one of the coolest parts of this episode is also when Reinhardt is, treating everyone very, kindly. He sees Felt pull out the insignia that she stole from Amelia, but Reinhardt gets really mad. It doesn't, not super mad to the point that he's, losing control, but he gets mad and grabs onto her, knocks her out, and says that he has to take her with her because he was actually going to avoid going into this whole confrontation. He didn't want to write up any of this. He even made a joke that I'm off duty. I'm not going to write up any of this stuff right now. But, he seems to change his tone completely when he sees his insignia. And that's where the episode leaves off. So Subaru's still alive, it looks like. Ram's still alive. Everyone's not hurt per se. Maybe now we have to worry about where Felt's going because apparently she's getting taken somewhere. But this is an action-packed episode. It was amazing. It really was. It was really good. I really think that this show might have one of the biggest things different from Steins Gate, excuse me, is that it's trying to go into an action route. And I kind of dig that. I actually like that. I mean, Subaru already shown his kind of weird, quirky self that almost reminds me of Kiyoma from Steins Gate, but he's really trying to they're really trying to kind of distance themselves from the kind of Steins Gate aspects because they're you think right away when you see time travel and stuff like that from the same studio, you think, oh, they're trying to copy Steins Gate or just reclone that again. But it looks like they're trying to do things very differently with this. So I'm really, really looking forward to what's further ahead of in the story. Now, honestly, I did not have a single fault with this episode. I really didn't. I'm just gonna say that right now. Everything was well presented. I mean, be honest with you, if you don't like the show by this episode, as my one friend said, actually, you'd be crazy. This show has a great, great vibe to it so far. I really dig it. I think a lot of you too will dig it too. And so far, we haven't had enough that shows anything inconsistent with the story so far. We have everything that seems like everything's working on par. I would love them explain a little bit more of Subaru's power of him rewinding time. It seems like, but I know eventually they'll get to that, so I'm not really super critical of that. And it seems like right now, him surviving means that a whole new day will probably start. So I wonder if maybe something happens during that day if they reset time always back to the beginning, or just maybe that day. Who knows, right? Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. Like always, please like, comment, subscribe. It helps me out a lot. And I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one, everyone. Bye bye.